Cybercrime is a global issue. If the people are losing the confidence, they will withdraw from the investment scenario itself.
How has the market changed for the investors when it comes to crypto?
There is no particular standard which negotiate between the countries. There is no proper legal framework.
Signs that a person can look for and decide that, oh, this is a scam.
All to miss out. People will be having a very urgency to avail the offer because this is the last day.
Certain groups which are more vulnerable to scams globally.
Youngsters, the digital adopters, rural population. We have the threat intelligence systems working in place where we monitor the threats happening or the scam instances happening across the world. Information security is a risky affair.
Welcome to this episode of NCDEX podcast series Commodity Derivatives Road. Rise, opportunities, achievements, and developments. In this series, we dive into all aspects of commodity derivatives because after all, commodity derivatives saral hai, sahi hai. Today's guest is Ms. Archana Venugopal, Senior Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer at National Commodity and Derivatives Exchange. With a strong track record across banking, consulting, and financial services, she has held leadership positions at ESAF Bank, Gulf Bank, Deloitte India, and South Indian Bank. Over the years, she has built deep expertise in cybersecurity, risk management, and information systems, guiding institutions to strengthen digital resilience and protect customer trust. As a seasoned leader, driving technology and security transformation, she brings valuable insights on safeguarding financial ecosystems in an evolving digital era. We are excited to welcome her and hear her insights today. Hi, ma'am. Welcome to the podcast. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, good, great doing.
How has your day been till now?
Information security is a risky affair.
Yeah.
And every day is a bit tough for me, but okay.
So there recently have been a lot of fraud cases, and with like the world going digital, cybercrime has been on an all-time high. So how do you look at that?
So cybercrime is a global issue. We have to deal with globally. There are a lot of factors which are resulting in cybercrime and the loss of money, loss of trust, confidence in the financial system. And ours is an emerging market. So if the people are losing the confidence, they will withdraw from the investment scenario itself. So we need to tackle it more consciously so that the people will not lose money as well as the confidence.
Yeah. So why do you think that this is like the biggest threat that the market has recently come across? We haven't had a threat as big as cybercrime because, as you rightly said, it is a global issue right now.
Yeah, so the one of the global fraud instance which got originated in one country can percolate to the another country or across the globe within minutes. The attacks are happening instantaneously. So the widespread attack nature or the threat actors attacking the country, attacking the people is very large in number, and the amount of money involved is very high. That is why the cybersecurity threat should be considered as the major threat. It's like a war affecting the people, common people who are investing money in the share market or in the capital market.
So you spent your entire day like dealing with these frauds, with these crimes. Can you share like one such instance where you came across a crime where the way you dealt with it and how the entire situation panned out?
One of the most common attack vector which every day the people are facing is the phishing attack. Now with the advancement of AI, the deepfake security, it has become quite natural that the phishing attacks are very similar to the normal, for the normal people to identify that it is a phishing mail or a phishing call or a scam call. So every day investing time on people to create the awareness, that itself costs a large amount to the organization, as well as there are no technology solution to prevent the phishing attack to 100%. So that brings the severity of the issue. So every day we have to face challenges. Phishing is one of the instance. We have hundreds of scenarios wherein people are getting falsified, or they have to compromise their identity. All these things we have to tackle it because the AI and the ML, everything is huge. And the hackers are using it more wisely than the people and than the investors.
So if a scam is potentially happening with one person in real time, like if a person is experiencing a scam happening with him or her in real time, what are some of the signs that a person can look for and decide that, oh, this is a scam, and like be aware of that?
Yeah, one is the unrealistic what do you call returns which they offer. Second thing is about the regulatory notions, like if the particular product is not listed with the regulator, or the particular entity is not listed with the regulator, the investor need to be conscious. Second thing is about the urgency. Majority of the time it will be like people will be having a very urgency, like to avail the offer, because this is the last day, which is the only offer just created for them. All that things, like which we call it as like fault to miss out, FOMO they call it. If the scammers will create an urgency that people will fall prey to it. So such side of the things we need to be conscious about.
And also something like if you invest right now, you will have too many gains, like too much money will come.
Yeah, so that are like that are the things which created by the scammers for making the people trust on that, and they create such a notion that if you are not investing right away, you will lose a bigger benefit. So such things, again the fear factor that they have got their records, they will use it for some other purpose which is very illegal. All these things we need to be conscious
about. So when you say that, okay, this is an issue, this is a global issue, so how do you basically educate investors about it? What's the medium that you guys use?
So we have different types of medium to communicate to the customers. One of that is the emailers which we send on regular basis to educate the customers about the recent frauds which had happened across the world. And again we used to have circulars issued for the brokers, for asking them or requesting them to educate their customers, so that everybody will be aware about it, so that when the human people or the human factor is well equipped, they can act as a firewall to prevent against this type of attacks.
Oh, understood. So with the rise of social media as well, like there are so many influencers, if we may call them trade experts, influencers, that give out what we call that investing gyan, if we may call that. How does one be aware of that, or how does one figure out whether this information being given by the influencers is legit or not?
There are a lot of ways to do that. One is like to check with the regulator or with the particular broker whether that is a good whether the whatever the information given by the influencers is right or wrong. So if the person who is investing, we will recommend them to independently verify the information given by the influencer and take a wise decision. Second thing is about the authenticity, whether it is their interpretation or how it will happen. They can directly communicate to that particular broker and get the first hand information, so that they can confidentially invest.
Okay, so and how does one trust the broker also? Like if someone cannot trust the influencer, one can also have doubts ki, oh, why should I trust the broker? Is there a verification process for a broker as well?
For the brokers, there will be public disclosures, their balance sheets and everything, where the product details are clearly mentioned, and the regulator will be consciously checking it. So they have to go to their website and check for the public informations.
Are there any other ways where the digital world or the digital social media, if we may call that, the social media drives these scams? Are there other ways apart from, as you said, phishing?
Yeah, there are a lot of other ways. Like there are three factors if you say. One is the digitalization of the instruments, financial investments, financial brokers, everything. And again, the cryptocurrency related things. There is a lot of cryptocurrencies coming up. And third one will be the scammers. They themselves, for the ad influencers, which giving the random recommendations and the fake products. The products itself will be fake. All these things the people need to be careful about.
So with this introduction of cryptocurrency, how has the market changed with, like, for the investors when it comes to crypto?
So when we say about crypto, it is not legal or illegal. In majority of the part, there is no global standard. Like some countries, they have accepted cryptocurrency as a way of medium, whereas some people doesn't consider that, or some countries are not accepting it. So the transactions which are made in cryptocurrency or the black black market, we cannot trust that. So there is no particular standard which negotiate between the countries. There is no proper legal framework. So it is better not to invest in such illegal things.
Understood.
Where there is a framework, proper framework or proper methodology for investor grievance addressing.
Yeah, understood. So, coming to commodity markets, what are the most sophisticated digital fraud techniques targeting investors in the commodity markets right
So
now?
commodity market is also the same as the other financial things.
Hmm.
There is nothing particular. Majority
Hmm.
of the things are like fake transactions, fake offers, then the phishing emails where they collect the transaction information. They does on behalf of us, basically the identity theft type. So these are the things which are happening in commodity market.
Understood. So, like financial institutions like NCDEX, what measures do they adopt to prevent such frauds?
So what we say about information security or cyber security is the layered approach. We also have adopted layered approach starting from firewalls to the encryption, where the
Understood.
data is kept secured, and we ensure that multiple layers are in place so that we didn't compromise about the customer information and the data of the people. And other thing is like we have embraced the security concept in the real sense. It is a motto or a mission for us to have a safer environment in place. For that, the customers will have confidence in the financial market itself. They don't withdraw from the market.
Oh, lovely. There's this one thing about regulatory technology also, which you call RegTech. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So RegTech is like the regulatory technology which we have taken it for. It is a mix of 2 or 3 technologies if you say. One is about the threat intelligence. We have the threat intelligence systems working in place where we monitor the threats happening or the fraud, so the scam instances happening across the world, and we will try to educate our customers as well as we will have the technologies in place to prevent such instances. Then the real-time monitoring we have to see even after that technology is there whether there is any breaches happening. And third one is the behavior analysis where we have the nature of transaction done by each customer, each organization and all. If there is any abnormality identified in such behavior, we will get an alert, and based on that we will do an investigation and we will put our 100% efforts to prevent the scam.
Oh, and also, are there any measures that detect a scam before that has happened?
Yeah, so that is the threat intelligence mechanism and the
Oh, wow.
real-time monitoring mechanism. If the behavioral of the particular investor
Mhm.
or the particular broker is not is against his normal behavior, we have the alert mechanism and we have the two-factor authentication. We have the prompting mechanisms like to confirm that the person is the same, the identity theft is not happening. So we have the technology controls in place.
Is this also what you call multi-factor authentication, or is that something else?
Yeah, multi-factor authentication is again the 2FA or the second factor authentication where if there is a abnormal behavior or if the person wants his transaction to be secure, he can avail a 2FA where the user will be prompted to give a OTP or his secret code or his password or a passphrase where he can authenticate it for a second time, which will be a secret thing which he maintains.
Understood. So NCDEX is a regulated platform, right? But there must be investors who are not using regulated platforms and they are at high risk. So if for them, I would like to suggest please go through regulated platforms only. But if there are people who are using unregulated platforms, what are the risks that they are inviting using those platforms?
Yeah, so if they are going for an unregulated platform, their data is at risk. Therefore, if it is a regulatory thing, the regulator itself will be asking that particular agency or the particular broker to go with some standard norms which will ensure the safety and security of the investor. If they are going for an unregulated platform, then what will happen is even the grievance redressal mechanism will not be there.
Yeah,
it will not
sure.
be a structured process. So if something goes wrong, he will not be having a place to go and tell his grievance, get the refund, get his the grievance address. So it is always preferred to go for a regulated entity.
Understood. And what are the ways where an investor can authentify or check the authenticity of the investment
It's good
opportunity?
for the capital market, at least for the capital market, you have to go to the regulator site, that is the SEBI. You have to
Understood.
verify that the products are available, whether the entity is legal, everything can be verified from the regulator website.
Understood. What are the global measures that have been taken for the protection of investors?
So there is a community where we can share the regulator can share the information on different types of fraud scams happening across the world. For that, the support of the brokers and the investors is very much required. Whatever the information we get regarding the new type of frauds or scams getting evolved, we share in the same platform, and the data we are taking measures in a common front.
If there comes an issue where someone that like an investor that you are connected with comes across a fraud that has happened cross-border. How do you take that issue up?
So cross-border transaction, there are like any other criminal case or some civil case which is happening across a cross-border. This financial transaction also lacks some sort of clarity. But again, there are some mechanism where which the regulator can talk to the regulator of the particular country where the scam is originated and can address the grievance of the particular investor if he had done the transaction through a regulated entity or a broker.
Acha, tell me one thing. Is there like a distinction where you can guess that or you can identify that this scam has originated from this market? Is there a metric for that?
In majority of the cases, when we does a forensic analysis, we trace back of the original command and control center where the scam has been originated and all. But it is of a less importance to us because if it is a technology incident, then how our systems are compromised, how to prevent that incidents in future, that will be our main agenda.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, a scam is a scam, irrespective of where it has originated from. But like, is there like in your years of experience, have you seen that this place originates most of the scam? Like, is there a particular hot area or something like that?
There are some blacklisted countries by the RBI and the Financial Ministry where we have restricting the transaction. Yeah, so that country, based on the relationship, political and economic relationship, we have a list of countries where we ban the transaction because some of the African countries, some of the politically unfavorable countries. So we have the restrictions in place that we follow the rules from the ministry.
Understood. Thank you so much for that. Now, just to spice things up a little, this is our last round, which we like to call it the rapid fire round. I'll shoot 6 or 7 questions at you, and you have to reply as rapidly as possible. Okay. If someone suspects that they are being scammed, what should they do?
Stop the transactions, report to the legal.
Lovely. What should investors do if they fall victim to a scam?
Again, stop the transaction, report that to the legal or the police or the law enforcement agency so that the further scam can be prevented.
Are there certain groups which are more vulnerable to scams globally?
Yes, youngsters, the digital adopters, and again the rural population.
How are exchanges and regulators like SEBI protecting investors against cyber fraud?
Cyber awareness is the first key thing. Second thing, we have the technology in place to prevent the scams.
How do global scams involving crypto and digital assets affect traditional markets?
It's very high because there are so people who considers that the cryptocurrency will yield a higher returns and other things. They fall easily prey to the such things.
Okay, so basically no greed. No greed. In every camera I'm looking at, I'm saying no greed. Okay, last one. How are regulators worldwide working together to fight scams, or how should they be working?
So ideally, we have the data sharing platform where we share the data, and we have the different conferences where we discuss on how to prevent these scams. Other thing is about the technology collaboration while sharing the victim details as well as the fraudsters details that can be improved.
Okay, great. You did great, ma'am. Thank you so much for sparing this much time for us. And I hope everybody who's listening must have gained so much from this conversation. This was, by the way, 17 years plus experience talking straight to you. And again, I would like to thank you so much, ma'am, for taking this time out. And I hope everybody benefited from this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That brings us to the end of this episode of NCDEX's podcast series, Commodity Derivatives Road: Rise, Opportunities, Achievements and Developments. A special thanks to our guest, Ms. Archana Venugopal, for sharing her expertise and stories. We hope you enjoyed this episode and gained fresh insights into the world of commodity derivatives. Stay tuned for more episodes as we continue exploring new perspectives and stories from the market. Until next time, remember, commodity derivatives, सरल है, सही है.